quantity, the amount that is put out, is not debatable. If you make 13 commercials or 9 billboards or 7,000 Pinterest posts, that is not a debate. We will all have to agree that yes, Willie Diaz put out 6 tweets. They were 6, there it is. What is incredibly debatable is quality. And what has been the shocking thing for me to get into this universe over the last 13 years is that a human being's subjective opinion is wielded constantly inside of agencies, at the client level, and many other variables. And it is treated in this wacky world of advertising as truth, which is the single most laughable thing of all time. I don't care if Jessica Simmons goes on to win 77 Cannes Lions. When she's in a boardroom with me in 21 years and she says, this is right, I'm gonna look at her face and say, you mean you think it's right? And I think this is a very important subject matter, and that's why I was so excited to speak about this. I ask all of you because I want you to be happy. One of the things that has really hurt me looking at the creative industry, both in Hollywood, Madison Avenue, everywhere, is there's actually a lot of unhappiness in the industry because of the way that people play the politics around their opinions. And I come here and speak to you today with the hope that this could be the class, this could be the group that really tries to take on the baton, even as you enter the game or continue in the game, to really have a better conversation around opinions. These are subjective opinions. And to me, that is the most important elephant in the room. That once we get into a healthy place as a community of how we get to great work, until we get to that place, we will always have the shortcomings of being one of the least creative places on earth. I live in a lot of places, not just Adland. I'm going to make this very clear to everybody. The least creative place that I spend time is Adland. And we like to blame clients, and that is an escape. That is a falsity. What is blame is the insecurities and egos of senior executives in creative shops. Period. End of story. And I am on a one-man mission to talk about this in a healthy way. Does this mean that creative directors and CCOs aren't talented? There's many great ones. There's many talented ones. But let there be no confusion. I actually have compassion and empathy. You work so hard for 12 years to finally get your chance to do what you want. I literally believe that every television commercial, every one of them, is something I call vanilla Frankenstein. Let me explain vanilla Frankenstein. I come here today to warn you of vanilla Frankenstein. Vanilla Frankenstein is the following. From a client brief, to a strategist thinking, to her handing it off to a creative team, to their ideas, hand it off to a production company that hires a director, and then finally has to be post-edited and approved by a client, tested in bullshit testing, and then shown on television. That is Frankenstein. That is not Palma's idea anymore. That is a little piece. And because of the way television works, it has to be vanilla because they're trying to make that 1 30-second video speak to everybody and look at the beautiful differences in faces, genders, ages, and definitely ideas, interests, and all that in just this room, let alone the tremendous amount of the people on the other side of a commercial. There's nothing scarier to me in the world than vanilla Frankenstein, and it is 99% of what this industry puts on a pedestal, and it's sad, and it must change. Because you know what else is the truth? As I see family members shake their heads, nobody's watching these goddamn commercials. The hell are we talking about? Who watches commercials? And so we are changing, and this is good. This is not me. I'm not trying to, this is good. It's not bad. And by the way, I'm not making fun of I love the creative industry. I just want us to be self-deprecating, self-aware, and honest to what's happening. You know, meanwhile, Super Bowl is the most important stage in the world. Everybody's watching that. Nothing is more important to me. I think every day about next year's Super Bowl for my clients. Now, but this is about attention and where it's consumed. And once you get to that place, something else happens. Advertising was easy for a long time. It was. TV, print, radio, outdoor, like you understood the rules for a half a century. It's hard now. Being creative and getting people to pay attention means you have to understand the context of your distribution. That has always been true from drawing in a cave to being on TV. Today, understanding the context of what works on TikTok versus Pinterest versus Instagram versus a pre-roll YouTube, a television spot, an OTT spot, a Spotify self-serve recorded ad, like it's all, NFTs are now in the building. I mean, do you understand what's going on? This is fun for you. This should be fun for you. I have compassion for it to be scary and not fun to the incumbents. And they will try to make you not think this is fun. It's not their fault. They're wonderful human beings that are worried about their families and their well-being. And that's what's manifesting. It doesn't mean they're bad. They're insecure, curious, concerned, worried, all the things all of us humans should be. That's what's manifesting in the halls of ad land. It's a big change. It's big change. This is not little change. This is a big change. And so what you're seeing is people hunkering down on trying to do one of two things. I'm hunkering down for the passion and conviction that I'm coming across in this talk. On the other side, you have people who know they want to be in business for another 12 years, who only know how to do it one way, who are hunkering down to keep the old way stuck until they can retire and go to Miami. And so the reality is, my friends, is come in eyes wide open. Come into this industry eyes wide open. Continue your journey in this industry eyes wide open. There's so much opportunity. It actually is about to get creative, but you need to be a voice. And let me explain what I mean by that. There's never been an era like this. There's some of us in here with gray hairs, and we all know that 23-year-olds and 25-year-olds and 27-year-olds didn't have a voice at the table when we were your age. Today you do. You take that for granted. I love your audacity and ambitions and conviction. It comes with some delusion, but we all still have delusion. Don't be hurt, Palma. But I'm telling you right now, listen, take advantage that you have a voice. There's a way to, listen, I own my own business. There is no board. I fully control it. I can be a tough guy on LinkedIn and all these platforms. You are gonna have a job. Somebody's your boss and their boss and the boss and the boss and the boss. So you're gonna have to deliver this conviction in a far more politically correct way. But it doesn't mean that you should be quiet. The number one thing I can tell you, and then I will go into Q&A. If you believe you're in the room and they're saying something about something you understand, whether that's TikTok, right? Whether that's LinkedIn, whatever that is, do not die on someone else's sword. Every day I walk and I'm in meetings and I see people biting their tongue because they don't agree. A lot of times they don't agree with me because they came from other agencies, and I make it safe for them to have dialogue. I'm a weird kind of character in the game. You're gonna be in a lot of rooms where it's gonna feel a lot less safe to do that. That is where you're going to have courage, and that's what I'm coming with here. To say what you believe in a respectful manner. In this change, a lot of things are gonna happen. Many of you are gonna find yourself in a place where you're not gonna wanna say something because you don't wanna come off as disruptive or things of that nature. But it is in those words where if you end up being historically correct, you will have your opportunities in the future. It's very important. Now, another very important part of that when you share your thoughts, remember that this is business. And here's what I mean by that. I've watched incredible amounts of people come into my company and have incredible passion because we make it safe, and they spit all their favorite words, and they forget that they're coming from a place of just worrying about the creativity of it, not about the practicality of it. People come with all sorts of ideas. Ideas are cute, but when you're doing it for business stakes, you need the context of that reality. You might like it, but the person that's receiving that may not like it, and then they're not gonna buy that donut. You understand? So, self-awareness, but conviction about things you know to be true in a time where it's never been more thoughtful and opportunistic to share that.